move, one who keeps tearing around, one who can't move. Where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Just when I'd stopped opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours, I'm making my entrance again with my usual flair, sure of my lines, no one is there. Don't you love farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that you'd want what I want. Sorry, my dear. But where are the clowns? Quick, send in the clowns. Don't bother, they're here.
Desiree, I'm sorry, I should never have come. I simply adore that child. Please, forgive me.
Clowns. There ought to be clowns. Well, maybe next year. Frederick, are you all right?
My son and my adorable one ran off together.
Does it hurt?
It hurts. Spiritually. Well, I think I should get up and confront the world, don't you?
Isn't it rich?
Are we a pair? You here at last on the ground.
You in midair.
Send in the clouds.
Was that a farce?
My fault, I fear.
Me as a merry-go-round.
Me as King Lear. How unlikely life is. To lose one's son, one's wife, and practically one's life within an hour, and yet to feel relieved. Yes, relieved. And what's more, considerably less ancient. Ah, Desiree.
Poor Frederick.
No. No, no. We will banish poor from our vocabulary and replace it with coherent.
Coherent?
Don't you remember your manifesto in the bedroom? a coherent life after so many years of muddle. You and me. Make way for the clowns.
Applause for the clowns.
They're finally here.
It's Election Day 2024, and we are live at the local polls.
City Council candidates have been all around Malibu today, making the last efforts of their campaigns.
Over the hill, Las Virgenes School Board candidates are casting their ballots, hoping to ensure a bright future for students.
From tougher crime to a standard minimum wage and protecting against climate risks, there are multiple measures being decided in California.
And from the local level, big stage, as former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris make their final push for votes in a close race.
News at 5 on this election day starts now.
The polls have just closed on the East Coast, and there are 3 more hours of voting in California. Good evening, I'm Mary Elizabeth.
And I am Gabrielle Salgado. Welcome to Newsways on this Tuesday, November 5th, Election Day. Starting with Malibu's big race, 3 incumbents are defending their seat from 2 challengers for Malibu City Council. Newsways reporter Claire Everbach has been following the candidates' latest moves throughout the day. She joined us live from the Malibu Civic Center, where Malibu voters have been casting their ballots throughout the day. Claire?
Thank you, Gabrielle. Yes, I spoke with all the Malibu City Council candidates this morning who have been out and about in the city all day making the final push for their campaigns, except for Channing Frickman, who did tell me she is homesick with the flu.
Election day is here, and Malibu City Council candidates are preparing for tonight's results. We met up with newcomer Halen Conrad this morning at City Hall. Conrad told us, regardless of tonight's outcome, she is proud of her campaign and grateful for the opportunity to meet so many residents. If she had a choice, Conrad says she would be excited to work with fellow newcomer Channing Frickman.
I think we both have very similar things we can bring to the table. We're both open-minded, free-thinking women who have raised children here. So I would be very happy if she got on.
City Council incumbent Steve Uring also met us this morning at City Hall. Uring is hoping to continue working on improving public safety, including fires and Pacific Coast Highway. Uring says while he's pleased with the work of the council so far, this election has been less than peaceful.
The city council is doing a reasonably good job. I think one of the things we've got to watch here in Malibu, this election has been one of the ugliest I've been involved with a long time.
Uring has actively campaigned with fellow incumbent Bruce Silverstein, and more recently, write-in candidate Andy Lyon is focused on shutting incumbent Paul Grisanti out.
My whole goal was to unseat Paul Grisanti and then flip the majority on the Malibu Council.
Lyon believes outside money has too much influence on voters' decisions and says this is unnecessary for campaigning.
I ran in 2020 again with like $150 with all these homemade signs, and I got 2,092 votes.
Silverstein says he and Uring are focused on preserving Malibu, while Grisanti supports more developmental action.
The reason I don't want to see him elected again, nothing to do with Paul personally. I'd like to see a third vote that votes the same way as Steve and me on those types of issues.
Grisanti was out making his final push for votes on the streets of Malibu this morning.
Don't forget to vote, and if you want to vote for the first 3 people on the ballot, that would make me very happy.
Grisanti wants another 4-year term to continue his work in support of the separation of the Santa Monica and Malibu Unified School District.
We're still seeing some residents who are coming out to vote, but it is starting to slow down. City Hall will stay open until 8 p.m. For now, Gabrielle and Mary, I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Claire. After making last-minute campaign stops yesterday in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, former President Donald Trump has returned to his primary residence on Florida's coast.
We did great in the first one. We did much better in the second one, but something happened. And this was the best, I would say this was the best campaign we ran.
Earlier this morning, Trump cast his ballot in Palm Beach County, accompanied by his wife, Melania. After voting, he visited his campaign headquarters and spoke to staff, thanking them for their hard work. Trump's watch party will take place at the Palm Beach Convention Center in Florida, where his supporters will gather to watch the results roll in.
Last night was Vice President Kamala Harris's big campaign wrap-up in Pennsylvania.
And tonight, then we finish as we started, with optimism, with energy, with joy.
Today, Harris is laying low in our nation's capital, where she hopes to spend another 4 years. Harris spent the morning talking to radio shows, encouraging people to go out and vote. This afternoon, Harris made a surprise stop at the DNC headquarters. Tonight, Harris's watch party will be at her alma mater, Howard University in D.C. Before heading to the watch party, Harris is expected to attend a family dinner, something she says is a household tradition. Harris did not need to hit the polls today because she mailed her absentee ballot to California earlier this week. Trump and Harris have one number in mind tonight, 270. Tonight, all eyes will be on the votes coming in from the 7 swing states, Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. It takes 270 Electoral College votes to win the presidency. Each state's number of Electoral College votes depends on its population size. The first to reach this number of votes will be elected as the 47th president. We will be tracking your vote throughout the night with our Road to 270 graphic at the bottom right of your screen. Results are in from Kentucky, Indiana, Vermont, and West Virginia, as well as other states. Trump won most of the southern states so far with early wins in Indiana with 95 votes, and Harris won Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maryland, and D.C. with 35 votes.
And back locally through the canyon, there are 3 candidates for 2 open seats in the Las Virgenes School District School Board race. And Newsways reporter Jenna Parcio followed the candidates throughout the morning and joins us live at Founders Hall, where the votes are still streaming in. Jenna?
Thank you, Mary. The polls are still open and lively here at Calabasas Founders Hall. One of the races on the ballot, the Las Virgenes School Board.
So I'm anxious for today to end.
The 3 candidates for the 2 open positions on the Las Virgenes School Board are anxiously awaiting results after a long campaigning season.
My campaign has been a year long. I kind of started laying the groundwork about a year ago.
For newcomer Alan Lazar, he is feeling a variety of emotions.
Optimism, relief. I think the third one would be a sense of meaning.
The one incumbent in the race, Linda Menges, is feeling fairly confident about today's election decision.
I think that everybody's pretty happy with where the district is right now. So.
The newcomer, Leslie Crow, is accepting that for this campaign season, she knows she did everything that she could.
No matter what happens, I'm proud of myself.
Running for a position on the school board takes a village. Alan Lazar is not only planning a celebration for himself, but for his supporters as well.
There's 100 people who've kind of stood out as having done so much for my campaign, and I invited all of them to a party at my house.
With Election Day upon us, residents of Agora, Calabasas, Hidden Hills, most of Westlake Village, and small parts of the West Hills and Topanga still have time to vote for the next 4 years of educational decisions. In case your ballot hasn't been submitted,
we're raising the next leaders, and I would like to be a part of keeping the district as great as it is.
It's very important for us to have more current parents on our school board, and that is my key selling point.
My overall goal is to be the eyes, ears, and the voice of the parents and the community on the school board.
I am now joined with Calabasas resident and soon-to-be 2024 voter. Scott, tell me a little bit about how you are feeling as you're getting ready to head in there and cast your vote.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, I think this is a pretty big election for all of us. Whichever way you decide to go, I think it's important to have your voice heard. And with everything that's been happening the last several years and the last few elections, I think it's important for everyone to at least make their vote count, do your civic duty, and obviously, whatever happens, but I think it's an important election for all of us.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing that with us. Yes. Gabrielle, Mary, back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Jenna. Still ahead on this election day, from a statewide standard minimum wage to borrowing money to fight climate change. Find out what will happen if any of the 10 state propositions are passed.
And voting for the future of our schools. A closer look at the Santa Monica Malibu Unified School District measures that are on your ballot.
You can say with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite. Unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. One book could be the first thing that helps to change a life. Book people unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Welcome back. In LA County, one of the bigger races is for district attorney. George Gascon has been in the position for the past 4 years on a progressive platform. Critics, including his challenger, Nathan Hochman, say Gascon is soft on criminals. Hochman, who is leading in the polls, is a former U.S. Assistant Attorney General. In his campaign, he has outlined a blueprint restoring public safety. The district attorney is in charge of the office that prosecutes felony and misdemeanor crimes that occur within Los Angeles County.
Across the state, Californians are voting on 10 propositions.
Nora Moriarty is in the newsroom with a rundown of these measures. Nora?
Gabrielle, Mary, there's a lot at stake here with these propositions. Getting tougher on crime and reforming prison labor laws. Here's more about what each of the props would mean for California. Proposition 2 is for California's public education system, including community colleges. It will approve a $10 billion bond over the next 35 years to fix and build better schools across the state. Supporters include the Teachers Association. Opponents say $10 billion isn't enough and will put the state in more debt. Prop 3 is about same-sex marriage. At the federal level, courts recognize same-sex couples' marriage, but states have their own constitutions. Since 2008, the wording in California's constitution is that marriage is between a man and a woman. Prop 3 would change the wording to match the federal constitution. Prop 4 is about borrowing $10 billion to invest in climate solution projects, including wildfire prevention, coastal protection because of rising tides, as well as providing clean drinking water that parts of California still doesn't have. Opponents say this expensive way to pay will probably result in increased property taxes. Cities like Malibu support Prop 5, which would make it easier for them to borrow money to help with affordable housing by lowering the voter threshold. Opponents are against borrowing money for affordable housing, which could raise taxes. Prop 6 would end forced labor behind bars. Currently, California is only one of 16 states that force prisoners to do work that the states need done. Prop 6 would end that, making sure prisoners volunteer for the work. Prop 6 is the only statewide measure on the ballot with no formal opposition. Fast food workers across the state already get paid more. They have a separate law. Prop 32 would increase pay for all minimum wage jobs, like many healthcare jobs, from $16 to $18. Opponents say a standard minimum wage could have negative implications, including companies eliminating jobs. Prop 33 changes California's rent control rules. Currently, cities and counties can only impose rent control on apartments and houses built before 1995. Prop 3 would make it so rent control can be applied to any housing. Opponents, including some Democrats, say this measure could halt the building of new housing and make the housing crisis worse. Prop 34 is being called a revenge measure. Michael Weinstein, who is the president of the nonprofit AIDS Healthcare Foundation, put Prop 33 on the ballot. He is well known for spending millions to try to bring affordable housing to California. This measure would require healthcare providers like Weinstein to spend 98% of their funds on direct patient care, not politics, or risk losing their license. Prop 35 deals with Medi-Cal, the program that pays for medical services for adults and children with limited income. About a third of California's population depend on this program. If passed, this measure ensures that the tax in place to help pay for the program actually goes to the recipients to repay doctors and hospitals. Those doctors and hospitals say the legislature hasn't been directly giving all the tax money to the program. Prop 36, the headlining ballot measure for the state, is about getting tough on crime. It would change California's punishments for certain drug use and theft. Under current law, thefts under $950 are a misdemeanor crime. Prop 36 will change that. People who commit multiple thefts could end up in state prison. It will also start a new category for repeat drug offenders, giving them a choice between prison or court-ordered rehab. Opponents say it will grow the prison population, filling jails and prisons with people charged with low-level crimes. We might not know the answers to all these props by tonight, but we do know that each of them will have implications for Californians. Gabrielle, Mary, back to you.
Thank you, Nora. There are still over 2.5 hours for voting in California.
And if you still need to get to a voting poll, Lauren is here to tell you what to expect weather-wise. Lauren, last-minute voters will face dry and windy conditions. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, expect a windy and partly cloudy night in Malibu and Calabasas. A red flag warning is going into effect early tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. for the Santa Monica Mountains and will last until Thursday evening at 6. But today we saw a mostly sunny day in Malibu and Calabasas. If you're heading to the polls this evening, it would be smart to bring a jacket or opt for a warmer outfit. We will see temperatures drop to a cool low of 54 in Malibu and 51 in Calabasas. As we enter into tomorrow morning, be prepared for some intense Santa Ana winds of 45 to 60 miles per hour, with damaging gusts getting up to 50 to 70 miles per hour along the Malibu coast, with low relative humidities and the possibility of power shutoffs to protect against increased fire threat. The National Weather Service considers this a particularly dangerous situation. As a precaution, Topanga Canyon Boulevard between Mulholland and PCH will be closed for non-residents from tomorrow morning at 6 for 48 hours. Residents should drive carefully, watch for debris, and approach non-functioning traffic lights with caution.
Well, Lauren, thank you so much for that weather report, and it's really important to know what our weather is before heading out to the polls. If we need to grab a jacket.
Absolutely, so true.
Yeah, we definitely need to be safe before we put our vote out there and everything.
Yes.
Yeah. Votes will determine the physical future of Malibu schools.
Rachel Flint is here with more on the Santa Monica Malibu Unified School District bond measures aimed at improving the quality of classroom and school spaces and grounds. Rachel?
Hi guys, happy Election Day. School bond measure QS and MN will bring much anticipated improvements to local school buildings. If passed, these measures would provide upgraded learning environments for generations to come. Passage of Measure MM will put $395 million towards funding Malibu public school facility improvements. Measure QS will provide $495 million to public schools in Santa Monica. The MM measure would provide the necessary funding to complete the full construction on Malibu middle and high schools, giving them their own spaces. Following the completion of the high school's main building, expected January 2026, the current high school building and arts building will be torn down. The measure would also provide money for other improvements to school grounds, including a new gym, pool, and theater performing arts centers, plus technology and science modernization and enhanced safety measures. In October, the LA County Register Recorder announced a printed ballot mistake that made both measures available across districts rather than only for voters within their specified district. Following the county register's announcement, the office promised voters that they are working with SMM USD to ensure votes will be only counted for prospective areas to uphold the integrity of the election. Both of the measures need 55% approval to pass. In 2018, both Santa Monica and Malibu voters approved school bond measures SMS and M with 70% of the vote. We will see if history repeats itself.
Thank you, Rachel. The clock is ticking to get your ballot in. Stick with us for more local election coverage.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Got a quarter?
What are you, superheroes?
Just four brothers who hate bullies and love this city. Gear up, guys.
Learning about democracy, one cookie at a time. Students at one California elementary school put democracy into action to vote on the best cookie, Oreo or Chips Ahoy. In order to get the full Election Day experience, the third grade students in Menlo Park cast their votes in a ballot booth. The cookie campaign started yesterday, and the sweet victory will be revealed tomorrow. 45 students used their voice to vote in the cookie election and received an I voted sticker.
Our election coverage is just getting started here at Newswaves. Join us again at 8 for a closer look at your local races. We'll have exclusive interviews with the candidates and local reactions to some of the most pressing statewide measures.
Plus, we will see where former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris have been on this historic day. Live updates from the races at a local and national level will start at 9. Well, it seems like the candidates are staying pretty close to what seems familiar to them.
Yeah, definitely, probably just going there for support. And that is all for right now. We will be back at 8 for more local election coverage.
Say with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. One book can be the first family, helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. For free tips to help you save, go to feedthepig.